I was actually scratching a ticket. Can I walk out back?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, that's just I communicate with that.
not just ghosts. It's not just cryptozoology or aliens. It's all of it.
And what are we doing today, Matt?
Almost like Chewbacca. It was like, you guys want to do a little beatbox live? Shoo! Big black screen stuck up there. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Banter with Richie B podcast. Look who's there first. Sketch is here. What's up, my man? Thank you for coming by. It's been a little quiet around here these days. This one show a week shit, man. It's kind of quieting down too much. I'm going to have to do it a couple times. You know what I mean? So tonight, whoever is out there, because I'm everywhere. I'm on my own personal Facebook. I'm on the Get Haunted network, I might add. I'm on my Banter with Richie B Facebook. I'm on my Banter Richie B YouTube. And I'm on my personal X and my Banter Richie B X. So we're everywhere. So if you're here and I can only see you commenting on certain areas, or if I don't get your comments, that could be why, because they're not popping up on my StreamYard. Unless they're on the YouTube or the Banter Richie B Facebook or the Get Haunted Facebook, I cannot see your comments. So those are the areas. So if you're here, like and subscribe to my YouTube page and jump on into the conversation. We're going to have ourselves a kick-ass evening with my friend Wojo. He's back. I know. First he was bothering me and dragging me out. Now I'm bothering him, you know. That's the way it is. You know what I mean? In a bro sort of way, right? I'm with you. I got you on that. But tonight we're gonna have I got some articles pulled up. I want to talk about the Giants theory again. Giants in ancient America. I want to go over them. I want to start discussing the tie-in where Sasquatch and Bigfoot kind of blend, right? Right. So if you got giants that are 10 feet tall, some taller. I was actually reading an article about a skeleton that was found that was 25 feet tall. Now, mind you, prehistoric days, right? Everything was big. So I'm like, why can't some human form be big, right? And it was like, I think they said like 10 feet wide and had like 5 foot depth to its chest cavity. It was just huge, you know? So it bears the conversation, you know, bears having the conversation of why can't there be a connection to that somewhere along the line, and evolution and biblical and all that stuff mixed in together to where you get a Sasquatch? You know, why isn't that a possibility? Why isn't that at least worth the conversation, right? And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to converse about that in a joking manner, which is banter. I haven't got to say that in a while. What's up? So, as you can see down bottom, scrolling by, watch us live in New Hampshire at the Scouting for Bigfoot at Charm and Fair Farm, June 22nd and 23rd. Next week, I have a guest that will be there and a guest speaker at that event. Crystal will be here, Crystal Penick. She is a very active member of the BFRO. She takes reports for them and up in the New Hampshire area. She has been on many podcasts. Very busy lady. I love getting the different perceptions of other people's angles kind of on these things, right? You know, I used to go ghost hunting and stuff, and we used to have investigations, and sometimes you go into these locations where females would get touched, but the guys wouldn't, or a female would get her hair pulled, but the guy wouldn't, you know? So I kind of want to check that angle out on this, you know, where does that fit in for you? As a woman as a member of the BFRO and out there in the woods, you know, what do you get? Different types of activity? Do you get more? Like, how does that work? You know, or is it just the same? And I only draw that comparison because of the paranormal angle on it. You know what I mean? So I thought that was a cool discussion to have. At the end of this show, towards the end of the show, Wojo, myself, and his brother, Matt, Cy, we're doing an investigation abutting my property in the Bridgewater Triangle, and we got some cool video of some pretty cool sounds that you might want to stick around and listen to. Okay, we're almost certain our friend was across the way, so we want to get your opinion on that and see what you think of all that, right? Let's see. All right. Let's see. Hello, there's Krista. I tell you what, let's just bring Wojo in. Let's treat him like a friggin' co-host at this freaking point. He's here enough, right? And we'll say hi to everybody with Wojo, and we'll just kind of build up and see how many people come in, and just stick around because I got some cool articles. I got a couple of pictures of fossilized like footprints that I want you guys to check out with me, okay? So those are pretty cool too. I want you to stick around for those, all right? Welcome, Wojo, to the stage. What's up, Wojo?
What's going on, brother? How are we doing today? And hi, everybody.
I'm hanging in there. I have a slight cold, everybody. I've had a couple of days of coughing and not sleeping well. So what's up? Look at, oh, there she is. I just mentioned your name. Did you hear your name, young lady? Miss
How you doing, Crystal?
Crystal's here. Hello. We are discussing giants and Sasquatch and just looking at different angles, as far as Sasquatch maybe tied in with giants. I don't know. We're gonna look at all of it, Hi, Mary Newbert, love you. Sketch is here. I found
Sketch.
Really? Wait, what's this? Oh, you didn't hear it? That's total coincidence then. I just kind of talked about how you were going to be on the show and all the different angles I want to get from you on the BFR reporting, and yep, and here you are. Thank you for stopping by. It's always good to have you. It's good to have everybody. It's just kind of funny when you talk about somebody, and here they are, right? Let's see, Mike Keogh. Hey guys, yes, you got us back. Yeah.
Mike and Lisa.
Good. I'm
Hi,
glad.
guys.
Glad you're back. I'm glad you're here. And now, Sketch. Oh, wait, I gotta address. I want to say hi to Krista first, because Mike just said something Sketch just said something I got to catch up on, right? Hello, Krista. How are you this evening? Welcome to Banter with Richie B. Don't mind me if I get a little allergy-like, because I had to take Dayquil to do the show. I don't know what the pollen season, man. I don't know what happened. What happened was I was 32 years old. I bought 3 acres of land. I got on a lawnmower one day. I started mowing it. I had to run for the shower. I had hives all over me. I was like, what in the hell's going on? I go to the doctor, and they told me your body changes, and I bought 3 acres of everything I was allergic to. That's what happened. That's my life in a nutshell, Wojo. That's how that works for me. I'm like, oh, I'm so proud I'm making it in life. Yep. So here I am.
Going through the woods.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I remove mold off of people's houses and go through the woods looking for primates. It's, makes sense. I don't know why I'm sick. Oh, my God. So Sketch says, I found a few large molars. They weren't under your pillow, right? Thank you, Krista. I appreciate that. They look people-ish. Really? And you just bringing it up like that, sir? I have private messaging. You could reach out to me. I would really like to see those.
Come on, Sketch. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, could you elaborate on that? Like, where'd you find them? Were you out doing an investigation, or excuse me? Yeah, if you could elaborate a little further on that, I think that's pretty kick-ass theory. I was watching something, doing research, and this guy had this big old molar, and he sent it off to get checked, and it came back as 98% human, but it would fit from my cheekbone to my jawbone like that. And I believe the largest human ever recorded was that Robert something kid that died at 22. He was 8'11" or something. Show me where to send them. Yes, sir. If you go, are you my backyard? Oh, in your backyard. Holy shit. Wow. If you follow me on my Banter Richie B Facebook, there's a messenger in there. You can just send me a message like Messenger and send me the picture, because I'd love to check them out and talk to you. Maybe I'll have you come on and you can discuss it further, because I would like that a lot. We like molars. That's right, Jim. We like ourselves some molars.
Welcome to Banter with Richie B.
I think that's crazy. And you have them in your possession? That's insane. Crystal's writing this down. I know Crystal's writing it
Oh,
down.
I'm sure.
She's taking reports. Oh, no. You're not losing your place, brother. Hang on. Molars of siblings. All right, that's enough, Jessica. Molars of siblings, because I said I love molars. Remember the time in the promo? I go, I love siblings. because of the Burks were on. I don't know. I was nervous. You know, it's one of those faux pas. I think that's the word. Would you mind repeating that? Not very good with technology. Oh, yeah, sure. On Facebook, look up Banter with Richie B. That's my Facebook page. And you can click follow. You can follow me there. And you should be able to go right through Messenger, no problem. You know what I mean? And send me the pictures just like regular Messenger. So if you have Facebook at all, it seems like if you have YouTube, you probably have Facebook. I definitely love to check those out, right? Crystal, you writing that stuff down? She's taking reports for the BFRO. Watch out. Here she comes. Uh-oh. Chris Mack Daddy's here. What's up, Mac? Mac Daddy. What's up? Welcome to the show, everybody. We're going to get started because I have some articles I want to... Crystal. Yep.
Yep.
She's writing it down. She's like, oh, yeah, really? Watch out for those private messages. She's going to slide in. Oh, that's great stuff. So, yeah, I'm gonna pull up some, we're going to talk about some things because, there was some discussion we had a couple weeks ago. Articles. Yes, articles. Did I say it wrong? That's all right. Just stick around. We just send them whenever. I can't really bring them up right now, but I definitely can bring them up on the next one. But I want to check them out. As a matter of fact, Crystal's the next one, and Crystal could check them out with me. Would you like that, Crystal? I think Crystal would like that. I know I would. So we were. What was I saying? Oh yeah. We were discussing how they were like these. Like 4 or 5 skulls, giant skulls that were supposedly saved with the Smithsonian, right? Yeah, absolutely, Crystal. That would be awesome. And suddenly, after all these years of having these skulls, they decided to have a ritual and bury the skulls. Huh. Weird, right? So we were talking about that, a little bit of conspiracy theory type thinking. Sorry. But it's weird how why would you do that? I mean, we have so many artifacts that we've saved. We don't bury dinosaur bones as rituals to T-Rexes. You know what I mean? It's like, how many Neanderthal skulls do we have or bones do we have that we don't bury and, bless the Neanderthals or whatever? You know what I mean? I don't, doesn't make any sense for them to be buried, in a ritual. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't make any sense. So when that didn't make sense, my ears perked up. And yes, Chris. This is a factual thing. So my ears perked up a little bit and I started pulling some articles, and lo and behold, there's a discussion, I believe it's through Wikipedia, about some of these theories where the giants or whatever are being dismissed, or the information of the giants are being kind of buried, in a sense, right? Not physically like the skulls, but, metaphorically speaking. I've always wanted to say that in a meaningful way. I just did it, 52 years old. Huh? I sound smart, Wojo?
I'm stunned.
Yeah, thank you. You see, I'm completely blown away with your intelligence, Richard. Quick, to the encyclopedia at once, you fool. All right, that's enough about me. All right, here we go. So, I'm going to pull this up. Now, I'm going to show you a couple little things like I found that, shows you can watch. They're not clips or anything. They're just kind of, you could kind of go there to research type of stuff. So I'll give you a little heads up on that, right? All right, let me see. You know what I'm going to do? Hang on one second, everybody. No, not that one. Oh, I got to go do both. Damn it. I hate when I do that. That's all right. I got my cursor lined up on both my screens, and I have to do this thing to unlock them so I can use separate screens, and I'm just not going to do it right now because I don't know. With my regular Facebook, I can't see anybody talking. Blah, blah, blah. So watch. I'll check it out. We'll see if we can see it now. Oh, there we are. Live on Facebook. Me and you. I'll keep the volume down. If somebody comes in and chats on that, I can see it and answer their questions. So if you do come in on Facebook, I can see it. I have the technology. It's incredible. So here, check these out. So these are at least the one on the right. I don't know if it's your right. It should be your right. Is a fossilized footprint. Check it out. So look over on the right. Now that's in a stone. Now the one on the left, I believe, is in a stone too. And I could probably pull it up a little bit bigger. So these are some of the things I want to discuss, right? So these are said to be one of the cool places I checked out. I'm going to give them a shout out here on Instagram with my 1 billion viewers. Giants of Ancient America on Instagram. You can go on there and they have article after article after article and pictures and information. You know what I mean? It looks different than, hang on one second. When I go on your page, it looks different than what I'm used to. I'm willing to show you. I suck at tech. 2 were still in a piece of a jawbone. I found the thing that looks like a large finger as well. All right. Do we call the authorities on this? I'm getting a little concerned here. Yeah. So Bigfoot would banter with Richie B on Facebook. You'll see like a little city with a microphone. That might be that picture there because that's the podcast. So it doesn't necessarily have the Bigfoot on it. All right. So, and it's orange and black and some blues and yellows mixed in for the water. That would be the one right there, my brother. So yeah, so these are fossilized footprints, right? Now, Woj, what's the first thing that you see when you think of these? When you see these things, what do you think about? What comes to mind with you?
Gigantic. I mean, I'm looking at the one on the right. I mean, you're talking about like 20, close to like 20 inches, but then like you look at the width, which is just unbelievable. Yeah, you're going to be talking about, excuse me, about 12 inches. 12 inches wide. I mean, that's a big foot.
Right. Well, that's what I associate it with. So when I first saw this, I was like, wow, that looks like Bigfoot. Right? Exactly. Yeah, it's
and the toes crimping in and everything else that you see.
Right. And it's larger than the said and supposed, recorded Bigfoot, big feet.
Right.
So I guess you could deem it as a giant or so because it's, you're right. It's around 20 inches or whatever, or more than 20 inches. And you look at the foot next to it. I mean, I don't know the size of it, but you can still see that's huge. And look at the one on the left, right? A little slender, but, it depends on what it was. That's supposedly in stone as well. Hang on. And I just thought it was unbelievable comparison to what, impressions that we run into and things like that. In the compost or wherever, you know what I mean? Or even casts that I've held or other, Dave McCullough from Massachusetts has in his collection and stuff. And, you draw the conclusion or you draw the comparison, I should say, to Sasquatch and all the research that's been on with Sasquatch, right? Mm. So, I'm going to enlarge my mind, see if I can read a little. Dr. Gilmail, the Smithsonian, to show evidence of prehistoric giants' footprints in stone, measuring 19 to 21 inches in the Grand Canyon, right? So it's like, think about it. How far off is it possibly from the tie-in to Sasquatch, right? Mm-hmm. Is there a downsizing taking place over centuries? You're talking some of these, they're talking 246 million years ago. So you're talking like dinosaur days and all that stuff, right? Like we discussed a long time ago that we felt that humans could have been big as well. Don't go by what the shows is, the movies or whatever, or even the information you're getting with, 5-foot dudes with spears fighting a T-Rex, and actually winning. That's kind of funny. You know what I mean? So, why couldn't the giants, why couldn't the humans be giants and be 10, 11, 12 feet tall and then have their spears and, bigger spears fighting bigger creatures and eating bigger plants and eating bigger game. You know what I mean? Like, why not? Why not? And if you look at these two, they're almost exactly like what you would think of as a Sasquatch footprint would be that you cast. You know what I mean?
Also, too, Rich. It's in Arizona, and
again,
And we had this discussion about the Lovelock Cave and the giants back then, and that's in the neighboring state of Nevada.
Right.
So obviously these creatures have been roaming around that area for quite a long time, and look into the picture to the right with the foot. I mean, look at the separation of the toe, the big toe, and in the second toe. I mean, it's just what you see of the big footprints that you see.
Right. And again, these are documented fossils, man. This is what they would deem as a fossil. It's in stone. It's fossilized. Is it fossil? Yeah, that's the word.
Fossilized.
Yeah, right. Let's check in with Henry. What's up, Henry? Welcome. Like and subscribe to my YouTube page, and always welcome New Hampshire. I am in Massachusetts, my friend. I am in.
How you doing, Henry? Welcome.
I'm in the area called the Bridgewater Triangle in southeastern Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. And Jenny Davis stops by. Hello, Miss Jenny Davis. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Fellow podcaster from the Get Haunted Network, Unturned Pages, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to check her and Russ Stiver out, a.k.a. Stiv Dog. And there's kick-ass podcasts that do with paranormal and all kinds of oddities. Unbelievable. Let's see. Very cool. I've been hearing about that triangle. I'm telling you, man, that triangle's the real deal, bro. I live right in it, and that's where I've had my experiences with what I deem to be a Sasquatch family. And the reason why I'm sitting here in front of a camera right now, to be quite honest with you, it took me a decade to talk about it. And I came out and here I am. I came out of the Bigfoot closet. So, and it's been quite an adventure ever since. Let's see. Did you guys see the Northern Lights last night? No, I have been sick for about 48 hours, and I could have given zero shits about the Northern Lights. I wish I did. I heard they were very beautiful. It's an amazing thing. And, yeah, it sucks. I was laying on my mattress, coughing and hacking, watching the Bruins get their ass kicked. Anything else, Jenny? No, I'm just kidding.
I was at the Red Sox game, and they got their ass kicked. So, boom, double banger. Hey.
Yeah, it's not always fun in Boston. Yeah, no. Why? They're going to be out tonight, too? Maybe I'll go out there tonight, Oh, Courtney Peterson, Courtney dudette. Courtney Peterson is here. Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Please share and enjoy the show. Yep. I got to get like a thing, like a motion picture type thing, a picture or a video of her doing that, and we can add to it. She'll just come by and walk by the screen and just say that. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Please share and enjoy the show. You know what I mean? I think that would be kick-ass. If you're here now, like and subscribe to my YouTube page. Go over and hit the like and subscribe button. There's some kick-ass stuff. I got a bunch of little collages I'm putting up, a little montage of video and stuff of investigations that I've done with Wojo, the Burks. My 13-year-old son was out there with me one time, and yeah, we had a blast. So I want you guys to enjoy those. So make sure you get right over there, like and subscribe. You know what I mean? Let's see. It's supposed to be as good as last night. That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
I'm going to get to you in a minute, my boy over here. Let's see. Sketch, I'm going to get to you in 1 second because you're saying things that are almost at Claude level right now. So whenever Claude comes in, I have to wait, talk with everybody else, and then back it up and go over what he just said, because sometimes you got to reel it in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up near Mount Washington. A few have been seen, but owner of the property doesn't want people there. Listen, and I get that. That's what happened to me. I kept it quiet. I have children growing up there. I dealt with things. I now share the property with my first wife, and she doesn't want that shit there. And, I got to totally respect that. There's other ways for me to get in there now that the property abuts this other area and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it sucks. You know what I mean? But it is a necessary evil. You know what I mean? It's very scary, this just in, the Red Sox beat the Nationals 4-2.
Why they couldn't do that last night when I was there?
No, not when you're there. No. All right, so let's go back here. I swear I'm not messing around. I need to explain. I have 2 or 3 what I think to be fossilized footprints, not F prints. That's totally different. That's a completely different falsification. I've reached out a few times. No one takes me seriously. We definitely need to talk. bro, I'm your man. Me and you get along great. We have a good rapport with each other. I got a kick-ass investigator coming on next week, and we would love to talk with you. So absolutely 100%. Anything like this, as you can see Sketches approaching and presenting some stuff, right? You guys have something, you live close by or even somewhere in that vicinity, 100-mile area or something. You got something going on around your house, needs investigated. Me and Wojo are the guys, man. We got a kick-ass team. You know, we got other investigators that'll come out with us. We'll come out and do a thorough professional investigation. We won't yell Bigfoot at every turn. We'll point out the things to keep an eye for. We'll educate you on it a little bit, as you know, as best we can. If it's something out of our league or out of our reach, we got people we can call. I have experts like the Vogels that will jump in and help me anytime when it comes to the wilderness. They're unbelievable. They're wildlife guides. They're out in the woods all the time, daily. So, you know, Dave McCullough from co-founder of Squatchachusetts, Mike Trainer. You know, these guys are well-known. Crystal and I have built a rapport. You know what I mean? She's another hopeful resource that I could reach out to. You know what I mean? The Vogels are awesome, Crystal, and I've called them right in the middle of investigations when I saw something in the wilderness I didn't understand. Sent them a picture, and boom, they gave me a perfectly good explanation, and I didn't have to go Bigfoot. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I was a little upset I picked up porcupine poop, but whatever. That's a different story. So
it's all about the research, folks. That's what it is. We're here to, if you have any stories or you want us to come by, I mean, we're just here strictly for that research and have that discussion.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whether, you know, we can help you, like I said, in that way. We're a good resource to have. And again, we're not going to jump up and down at every little noise or every little shape or figure or structure or whatever it is you're finding, footprint impression. It's nothing like that. It's let's figure it out together. What we don't know, we'll reach out to the people that probably know or can just tell us no. It's okay. So, and we're good quality human beings, and that's the key to it. You know what I mean? You don't have a bunch of schmucks coming up and, you know, light a fatty and drink some JD and be like, "Yeah, where's this Bigfoot at, boy?" Ain't none of that shit going on. So
Exactly.
my boy Sketch is 11 Bravo like me, Fort Benning, Georgia. What's up, 11B? Anyway, sorry to get that out. I saw him say 11B. I get extremely excited over that. Sketch has a riddle now. Here is a riddle for you. 417. Oh. All right. That's not a riddle. That's a. All right. Talk to you tomorrow. People in New England are extremely quiet about their sightings. They don't want people trespassing. That's right, Crystal. And we, you know, that's the one thing about having these condensed areas like we do in Massachusetts. And the land that I've had activity on, there's very, very, very few secret ways to get into this property. At least there was I own the land since 2002. They've now built some nature trails so you can have a little more access. But even that is pretty untraveled. So you get in these little condensed areas, you would have to literally go through people's yards to get to it, as far as my yard goes. Oh, that's cool, man, Henry. I'll get to meet you. Come on over to my tent. I'll have some cool evidence I'm going to present. I'm going to be doing my podcast live from the farm. I'd love to meet you, man. Definitely make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube page, and that way you can follow me and keep up to date on what I've got going on. A lot of times I do live investigations out in the woods, and I just put you on the phone and on YouTube and even StreamYard with a bunch of destinations, and we'll walk around the woods and look together. I love researching with people because people can hear things or see things that I don't, or they have great questions or good ideas while we're out there if we do find something. So it's like a group investigation, more eyes, more ears, right?
Right.
Let's see. I'm holding them right now. I sent my digits in code. Sketch. I get.
What is this, like G.I. Joe hour or what? What's up with you two? Bravo 6, come in.
My boy Sketch is over here. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, Sketch, I got you. Oh man. Oh, there we go. YouTube Banter with Richie B, baby. Like and subscribe. We're climbing. You know what's up. So let's get on with some of these articles, man. You guys want to chime in? You want to jump in? You see something You think's bullshit, speak about it, man. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. This is a conversation, right?
Don't shit on anybody.
No shitting on nobody here. We already, well, I don't think, no, I did. I banned one person. I think it was when I was doing Alphabet Soup. Rob was on here. And don't forget, buy the merch. And some pornographic thing came up. And I was like, whoa, hey. Yeah, not cool. But anyway, so these are some of the shows you can look up to do a little research on your own. I like to offer that to you sometimes, you know what I mean? Because why waste all your hours when, you don't have to? You have somebody like myself, you can just click. I have to go in and look for all this stuff, and I enjoy doing that, trust me. It is my peace of mind to open these types of shows up and study what they're saying, what they're tying it into, all kinds of different stuff. There's more. But I'd rather not lose my place. I had to keep my mouth shut till May 5th. I don't know. You're not losing your place ever. Don't worry. Is it your place you talk about, like in line here on my show? Because you're not going anywhere, bro. You're stuck with me now. So it's just the way it is. So these are different shows that you can look up on YouTube and check them out. I found them very informative. I found a lot of things they had to say to be real. They're very, they're not just giants. You know what I mean? They actually try to, debunk and stuff like that. And debunking is the key to a lot of research. So if you can go out and debunk something, then do so. I recommend that. If you cannot, then you have questions that you need to find answers to. That's research. That's the difference. And that's the beauty of research. Research is a search for facts. It's not factual. To research is to look for facts, okay? And to put them all in place, all right? Nobody's stating anything factual, okay? All right. This one here, I didn't see the name for it. These two. I don't know why they didn't come up. Anyways, you see these two dudes? Watch it. Just go on YouTube, write in punching giants, and these guys' faces will come up. This guy here I was watching about, he was a conqueror, as you can see. And he walked through just mauling people, this dude. He's got, give me 5 minutes. I'll explain. There's more. I just picked up tech. I'm slow as molasses. It's all right, brother. And you have 40 acres. He has 40 acres of land that me and Wojo need to go down to.
Nice.
So here we go. We got some articles here. I'm going to read some to you. I hope you don't mind some reading. It creates discussion. It's a good part of research. I have to enlarge it, so I can't see your comments for a minute, so everybody relax. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Giant skeletons reported in the United States until the early 20th century were a combination of hoaxes, scams, fabrications, and the misidentification of extinct megafauna. Many were reported to have been found in Native American burial mounds. Now, we've had that discussion about Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
We've had that discussion about Sasquatch, the close ties of Sasquatch and the Native Americans, and the possibility of Sasquatch being buried in their mounds. We've had that discussion. I think it's quite extraordinary that these are tied in here, right? Examples from 7 feet to 20 feet tall were reported in many parts of the United States. The claims of giant skeletons were debunked in 1934 by blah, 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 curator of anthropology at the Smithsonian Institution. The Smithsonian Institution opposed the popular myth that an ancient white race were the mound builders. Another thing you can look up in Google is mound builders. They associate a lot of that with giants activity. The role of the Smithsonian Institution in debunking such claims led to a conspiracy theory that Smithsonian archaeologists were destroying giants' bones in order to cover up the existence of giants. He blamed the reports of giant skeletons on the will to believe, coupled with amateur anthropologists who were unfamiliar with human anatomy. In 2014, an internet story began circulating which claimed the Smithsonian Institution had custody of giant skeletons, but they destroyed thousands of giant skeletons in the early 20th century. The internet story about Smithsonian was debunked. Okay, so here's one of the things that we talked about here on this show about the types of conspiracies and things like that, right? We know there's bones. bones are bones, and when bones are found, they are graphed, looked at, things like that, whatever, dissected and analyzed to know that they're bones. Why is there an article like that right there that I just read, acting like there's no bones, like there's none, right? Wojo, in your research, we've been doing this kind of together. Have you found a lot of this conspiracy type theory stuff going on, or create the fictitious creation of questions, we'll call it?
Well, yeah, I mean, they just want you to believe that these things just don't exist. I mean, I just think that all the government's doing is just hiding, conspiracy theories like this, that Bigfoot do exist, or there were giants, so on and so forth. But I don't know. I just find it fascinating that people like, amateur researchers are finding these things, and they just try to let it out. I mean,
I just find it extraordinary and obviously worrisome. Chris Mack said something back here too, to bring up. Getting on to people having a good time at the Paracon White Hill Mansion. Yeah, I heard that was going on this weekend. And yeah, if you're in that area, man, the Paracon over at the White Hill Mansion's going down, and my family from Get Haunted is there, all hanging out and representing, doing their thing. So thanks for that update, Chris. Definitely. Thank you for stopping by the show. I just find it amazing and worrisome. Why do we want to find things in the dirt and then literally try to cover them up again? Pun intended, right?
Exactly.
It's kind of mind blowing, right? So, Max, you still here? Why? You got to be in the field in 10 minutes. Sorry, I heard a child that was supposed to be at baseball in the other room. Isn't that weird? I thought it was a giant. Let's just face it. Anyways, I had to be a dad first. Sorry, everybody.
83 kids.
83 kids. Yep. 83 kids. So yeah, I don't understand why it's like that. It's mind blowing to me. So, me and Lodge this again. I can't see your comments once again. Okay. During the 19th century, there was a widespread belief in North America of a prehistoric lost race. Prehistoric, right? Which is what we've discussed. European settlers embraced myths of pre-Columbian settlements from the Old World, which reframed colonization. Let me see. Through a process that historian Douglas Hunter described as white tribism. The settlers interpret signs of intellectual and cultural capabilities. The earlier single settlers sought and failed to uncover evidence of civilizing Welsh influence in the native areas. So the various versions of the myth that they're talking about, I'm jumping around a little bit, held that the massive earthworks of the Mississippi Valley, like Grave Creek Mound and the Great Serpent Mound, were not built by the ancestors of Native American. Is now widely believed, according to the myth, the Indians had exterminated a prehistoric white race of mound builders. The cast genocidal violence towards the Native. So what they're basically saying, in a sense, and we've heard this before with the Paiutes in Arizona, that the mound builders are known to be and documented to be these giants that built these mounds, right? So now you're reading here in Wikipedia, it's a fairly, legit article that they destroyed the mound builders. So now we're back to the Native Americans having a war basically with these giants. In a sense, that's what they're kind of saying right there. Which again, we dealt with that with the Paiutes in the Lovelock Cave when they set Lovelock Cave on fire and basically exterminated them. Or at least that fashion of them were extinct from that point on. Excuse me. So interesting how that kind of brings that part up about how these guys are feuding again, right? Kind of crazy. That's almost a tie-in to that previous research that we did on the giants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty fascinating that it just seems like the wars expand from, um, just expanded like Nevada, out in Arizona. I mean, these creatures were cannibalistic, and like we had this discussion on the Lovelock Cave that they were just killing off the Paiute Indians, and the Paiute Indians decided to, it's time to fight back, which they did. Big war for for a long time. But go ahead, Rich.
No. That's yeah, no, that's a great point, and that's what we were discussing about. And these stories almost sound alike. You know what I mean? So what Chris is asking, how do we know that they're involved in a ritual? So a lot of things. So a lot of things with these. My understanding, rituals. All right, fire. You find burnt type bones, right? Cannibalistic. You find like teeth marks in the bones, so there are ways, depending on the ritual, of finding certain things. For instance, Jesus, right? He had nails in his wrists and his, so you can find different, that's ritualistic, right? So, things like that, you can find certain markings in the bones and find out the way they died or whatever the case might be and deem it as a ritual. You know what I mean? Is that factual? No. I mean, I imagine that's how they would do it forensically. So let's see this. You want me to click that link? You got a link? Oh, yeah. You want Sketch to come in?
Bring him in.
I got to see if I can find him though.
I've had enough. I had enough of his writing. Get him on.
Let's see what this is. Let me see if I can give you something you can. Read that article on the right side. Can you see it over there?
The giant skeleton.
Yeah, can you read that one? Because that one's pretty good.
Okay, Bowling Green, Ohio, August 14th, while excavating for sand and building on I can't tell what that word is.
You can't.
Whitmore Farm. Yeah, Charles Whitmore Farm. Pago. It's a little splotchy. William Jones unearthed the skeleton of a gigantic man. It is in fair state of preservation and will be preserved, as it is thought that it may have some scientific value. The skeleton was found in a sitting posture, and when the bones were placed in horizontal position, they indicated that the height of the man in life must have been over 8 feet. The head of the enormous size being 12 inches in diameter.
Mm-hmm.
It is believed that it is the skeleton of a member of a prehistoric race of giants. Further excavations will be made to see if other graves cannot be found. That is a very, very big squash.
That is pretty big, right?
That is a big head.
Yeah, exactly. So think about that one. I mean, that statement there. Again, these are documented cases, right? Like that's something that documented in a sense that they write about them, right?
Right.
Hang on 1 second. I am trying to get over to that, and I can't seem to find it. So that's interesting. I'm trying. Humans. So no, I thought that was like one of the most interesting part of the articles. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's funny they bring into this Meta Business Suite now. You just can't go into Messenger enough to drive you freaking nuts. No, and it's I find it very intriguing. So let me see the rest of this one. I might have you read some of this for me. Hang on. Created code of giant hoax. Yeah, there you go. This talks a little bit more about the bones, the race of giants, 1519. Wojo, take over for me for 1 minute, okay? I just got to try to set up a link for him.
Oh, the big article to the left?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then we're going to discuss the stuff. Hang on. You go ahead.
All right, excuse me, folks, while you zoom in. All right. In academia, the creators of North America's earthworks were conflicted with the creators of Mesoamerican megalithic structures, then understood to be mythical Toltecs. According to historian Christian Mulcher, of Toltec connection facilitated the adoption of Spanish stories of a race of giants, like the 1519 account of the Tlaxcala, excuse me, guys, leaders presenting Herman Cortez with a massive bone, allegedly from a giant defeated in their ancestors. Naturalist Benjamin Smith Brown, who is familiar with the legends of giants across North America and discoveries of mastodon bones, warned against interpreting the discovery of bones, skulls, and entire skeletons of prodigious size as evidence of prehistoric giants. Despite his warning, new views would provide the basics framework of mound building myth in the later waves of giant skeletons reports. As for information was discovered about Native American cultural complexity, the lost race became increasingly described as physically superior giants. Con artist George Hull created the Cardiff giant hoax after an argument with Henry Turk, a preacher who taught that the biblical giants had literally walked the earth. Barnum commissioned a copy of the hoax giant after a plan to have an 8-foot tall skeleton prepared for various bones failed. The belief became so widespread that Abraham Lincoln referenced a lost race of giants along with extinct mastodons with describing the age of Niagara Falls.
Oof.
Hundreds of newspaper articles critically describe the purported discovery of giant skeletons, sometimes with analytical irregularities attributed to the Nephilim. For an example, a massive skeleton unearthed in Tennessee toured the state as a specimen of this lost race. The reconstructed skeleton was mounted to a timber frame in a standing position with missing bones recreated from wood and rawhide. Preachers, doctors, and journalists confirmed it to belong to the genius Homo, despite a standing height. That's what it says. Despite a standing height estimated up to 20 feet tall. When the giant was taken to New Orleans, medical doctor William Carpenter found it to be a young mastodon remains. Carpenter reported that there was no fraud. The man exhibiting the bones boxed them up after discovering them were not human, but rather widespread desire to believe the mastodon ceased to be existed as a person, but soon other purported giants were unearthed, exhibited, reported, or sold for profit.
Crazy.
Crazy.
That's freaking nuts, ain't it?
Yep.
Now, Henry had a question. How thick the skull was? I read it didn't really say anything about thickness. It just said it was 12 inches in diameter. So, however that is. But no, I think that's absolutely insane. Listen to what you just read, right? That's documented Wikipedia stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this is stuff that was going on many, many, many years ago, and it was like a part of the conversation, right? So how far off can we possibly be, right? I mean, think about it. Sketch, I'm having a little trouble getting over to that messenger for that link. I apologize. My producer moved out to the West Coast and she doesn't really have internet right now. It's been an absolute train wreck over there with the internet. So I can't get into that messenger. I'm going to try to reboot, go back, not reboot the thing, but jump out of that Facebook into another one. And then find your pictures. Once I find your pictures, I can send you an invite. So yeah, I think there's a few things in here that, kind of crazy. One, there's the Nephilim again, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've had discussions of them again. It seems like there's a battle to kind of quell the conversation, yet the conversation keeps coming up naturally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I find kind of strange in itself too. That they're holding off on this talk or trying to say, oh no, that's all fake, everything's a hoax, blah, blah, blah. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And and yet there's still more reports coming in of these things, during that time, not obviously not now, but yeah, I think it runs parallel with a lot of the Sasquatch stuff that you deal with, a lot of the Bigfoot stuff that we deal with. And here it is again in Wikipedia, documented stuff. Not saying everything's real. I'm just saying that this is what the conversation has been. It's kind of like if there's smoke, there's fire, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Hundreds of newspaper articles described a purported discovery of giant skeletons. Hundreds of newspaper articles, right? The reconstructed skeleton was mounted to a timber frame in a standing position. I didn't see any thickness there either. Did it say anything about it be how thick it was?
No.
Try to find that answer for you, Henry, but I don't see it anywhere, brother. So yeah, so here we are. There are these types of things and these types of reports. Documented. This stuff here, you're talking what year it was? Let's see. Meta is great, isn't it? Yeah, it's more control the better. Hang on one second. I don't see a date on that. August 14th is what it says there. This stuff's documented. They're talking back to prehistoric days. And not only prehistoric days, let's keep in mind, let's get a little perception here. Like the 1519 account of the leaders presenting with massive blah, blah, blah. 1519, right? New views of the origin of the tribes and nations of America, 1798, right? This is all that conversation is happening throughout history, throughout our ancient history, up until the 18th century, you're hearing about it. Then they found stuff in the what? It was 19 that we read about the Lovelock Cave. That was a long time ago, but there was stories about in the early 1900s. So this stuff has been going on for way before us, and it seemed quite consistently throughout not just prehistoric, ancient biblical times, but long after that as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what it seems to me as we research further and further into it. Yes, young man, how can I help you? Come here. All right.
So again, to reemphasize the giants of the Lovelock Cave, which was that they found archaeologists found not the archaeologist, two guys were trying to find bat dung, and they discovered mummies. Okay, so in 1912, that's when they discovered, or 1911.
1911.
And they're saying they estimate about over 2,000 years that they've been sitting there. Again, it's just history, just being uncovered before our eyes. I mean, it's still happening today.
Well, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? And this conversation, again, think of the conversation that we're having or what I'm trying to create here, what Wojo and I are trying to create here, is the possibility of the tie-in between what we're discussing and the possibility of the discussion of Sasquatch. I don't find that Sasquatch can be that far off of this discussion. Once again, we have the discussion of Native Americans and Sasquatch, right? Who gave them that name, Sasquatch, right? And we're having the discussion from centuries ago, the Paiutes, things like that. Right up until even now, when I do my research, a lot of times I watch for these types of behaviors in order to debunk things that the Native Americans would do. Whether it's, and a lot of people they're not scientific. I get it. It's not scientific evidence, but structures and things like that. Well, if you look back in your history and you read about the Native Americans, you'll hear a discussion about how they used to mark their watering holes, their game trails, their food, their ambush huts, things like they used to do. And you go out into the woods and actually do boots on the ground, and lo and behold, you could, just like you could find ancient stone walls, you could find ancient markings. And we have, so things that aren't natural. You know what I mean? So, you try to find this tie-in, it might actually help down the road, but not credibility, but maybe there's some part of this research here that'll help us when we get to the end, when we one day scientifically know that Sasquatch exists. So, I don't know, it's kind of a funky tie-in, I get it, but to me, it just kind of keeps popping its head up every time I read or every time I watch my stuff on YouTube or wherever else, Google or whatever it might be. And I'm drawing this comparison all the time to the life I'm living now when I put my boots on and go out in the woods and look for shit. You know what I mean? And it's crazy interesting to me. If you're still here, it is as well. You know, if you're not still here, probably not. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure on people's minds, why are they here? You know, where do they come from? So on and so forth. And this is why, you know, this is our second podcast about the Giants. We're just trying to piece it together. I mean, are we going to be right or are we going to be wrong? We don't know. We're just trying to make the connection. And if anybody else likes to chime in and throw your questions, I mean, let's have it. You know, my thinking that I told Rich on the last episode that we had was at the end when the Indians killed off the Giants, supposedly.
Yeah.
Okay, they killed all the male giants. They captured female giants, and they mated with these giants. And it's documented stuff. And some of these giants, female giants, escaped. And so, you know, having, you know, the Indians mating and all that stuff in giant people, you know, then there's Bigfoot.
Right. Right. And you know, like Chris brings up. Now, Chris, are you a paranormal investigator? It is fine. Like, it's still finding hard to believe in Bigfoot. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, I'm having trouble getting that Facebook Messenger sketch. So just hang tight, enjoy the show, and we'll talk some more, and make a definitive plan. Just because it seems like something that's really important, I don't want to just kind of wing it, I guess. You know what I mean? And I'm having trouble with that Facebook. So stand by and just hang out with us. All right.
Just real quick, Rich. I mean, to Chris' question is that now, Chris, I've known Richie for a long time. Played softball together and against, and for close to 20 years. And when he posted about active stuff behind his house, I gave him a call. I'm like, "What is this stuff? What are you talking about?" And then he told me of the activities that are going on in the back of his house. And so he was supposed to take a trip to Western Mass, and I think it was Bobby Lee that came down sick. He asked me if I wanted to be interested to go. Now the thing was, Chris, I found paranormal, alien activity, and especially Bigfoot. I always find it very interesting stuff. You always wonder, is there anything real out there? Okay. I wasn't all in at all, by no means. Okay. I was just a skeptic and kind of intrigued. So when Richie asked me, hey, you want to take a trip? Hey, listen, I called him out on it. I want to go. I called him out on it because I want to see what he's seeing, what the Brooks are seeing, or anybody else is seeing. And that's why I've been on boots on the ground ever since. And all I was just a fan. I was a deer hunter for many years. Henry, I probably hunted near you in your area, up in Whitefield, Littleton, Pittsburgh. So I've been out in the woods. I know what the woods is all about when it comes to hunting and what have you. But going to these areas with Rich, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And so I don't know what to believe. I know there's something out there because I can't see anything possible that humans can do. Yeah. But I understand where you're coming from, brother, because I was the same boat. But this is why we're here. It's great working with Rich, obviously. It's still great to work with Rich. But we also have to banter and have these discussions because not everything that we're going to see is Bigfoot. This is why we have this discussion. And we kind of, start from ground zero up when we see something.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's listen, and we're not here to try to convince anybody of anything, and that's the key. Nope. That's what we've always done.
It's sketch. I'm a Christian too, so
Yeah, and we present stuff, and if it's something that's intriguing for you to do enough research on your own to do, and draw your own conclusion, total respect. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No worries at all. Henry, is that Littleton, my man? Is that what that is? Because I lived in Littleton for a while, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I lived in Littleton, New Hampshire.
Oh, really? I'll tell you, it's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful country up there.
Oh, we had so much fun. I remember one time, I guess I was back in my drinking days, and I was, oh my God, I was partying so hard. And I got up in the middle of the night and wanted to go to the store. There were no stores open. I mean, Littleton back then was nothing. There might have been a bank and a grocery store. And I took my buddy's car. I didn't have a license or nothing. I took that thing down the hill. I do not condone this behavior. And I took it, and I remember going, like, I don't know, some reason yeah, there you go, Henry. Some reason I wanted to park the car. And I said, wow, I think it hit me that I was really drunk. So I said, I better get out of this car, you know? So I parked the car, I walk a mile back all the way up the hill, and I go to the house, and well, 2 hours later, the sun's up, whatever, knock at the door. Cops are like, hey. And we're like, what's up? And we're like, he's like, hey, who left the car over there on that sidewalk? I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, we tracked it back all the way to here. I forget how they did, but they found me. And apparently I parked it up. The buildings are really tight to the street there. So you have this little curb, and he had the small car, and I pulled it up on perfectly onto the sidewalk, and I touched the bumper up to a telephone pole. I parked it and headed home. It was a perfect park job. You know, they didn't, but they just say, get your car off the sidewalk. You know, nowadays you go to jail, but back then they were like, get your car off the sidewalk, stupid. You know what I mean? So it was kind of funny, but yeah, Littleton, I was up there for a while, actually.
Yeah.
My sister lived up there for years. We used to, every time we get in trouble down here in Massachusetts, we would drive 4 hours, 4.5 hours, I don't know, maybe more, and just whoom, all the way up there to hide out. She'd be like, what'd you guys do now? You go up to Littleton to hide. She had this little trout brook out back. We'd go out and get the little baby trout, play cards all night. It was awesome.
Beautiful town, beautiful little town with a lot of factories, and it's just the beauty, the nature of it. And I've hunted up in New Hampshire, geez, for almost 15 years straight. And like I said, in Whitefield, Henry, real quick, Mount Washington Airport, that's where I was a lot of times. But welcome to the show. Thank you for subscribing and being on here.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I always love to get a little touch of my history because it brings you back, obviously, right? Here we go. God made me for this. If the light holds out, I'll walk out to the X structure I found and show you the footprints. Sketch, man, you are coming in hot this week. Now, we've had Sketch here a few times as a guest, and I didn't see anything, by the way, in my messenger. So I'm a little concerned about that. I didn't see anything in there. I don't know if it's the way they have it newly set up through Meta or not, but I can't find anything in there. What is you go under the same name? Joe, do you have a different name you go under? Just you can give me some incognito. All right. So throughout the 19th century, some scholars expressed doubt in excavations of purported giants, but had little impact on public perception. Many readers embraced the skeletons as evidence of biblical history against unpopular experts whose discoveries undermined a literal interpretation of the Bible. With a rise in I don't know why it's got to be a color thing, but rates and emergence of the cheaper penny press newspapers, there was a strong market for these tales, right, to sell. I get that. But you still got bones, and you got bones, so stop your bullshit. Ethnologist Cyrus Thomas spent years compiling his report on the mound explorations for the Smithsonian Institution. The 1894, here we go with another year, another date, in-depth study of North America's earthworks provided over 700 pages of conclusive evidence that they were built by native peoples. Thomas reported shift academic attitudes, but new reports of giant skeletons continued to come out for decades afterwards. It was common for the stories to claim that the bones were sent to the Smithsonian Institution. The Smithsonian's Bureau of Ethnology did encourage those excavating mounds to send Native American bones to their mound exploration division. Prior to the 1990 Native American Graves Protection and Reparation Act, The Smithsonian collected over 18,000 of these skeletons. However, the sensationalist newspaper articles were often invoking the Smithsonian name in order to lend credibility. And now you don't have that anymore. What's this say? Oh, modern giants. See how they list them? On the right, there's a modern giants. Even after the Smithsonian had proved the mound builders to be, they're claiming that they were Native Americans, that these guys and the giants didn't build the mounds. And that's not really the discussion here. I don't care who built the mounds. Don't get lost in that. I don't care who built the mounds. I'm not asking who built the mounds. I'm not arguing about who built the mounds. This to me is a distraction of biblical proportions. This is what they do. They distract. Oh, let's find a topic and focus everybody on that because that's where they say these bones are coming from. Blah, blah, blah. Those two footprints I just looked at were not in a mound. They were stuck in a stone. They were fossilized. They were stuck in stone. Has nothing to do with mounds. So don't get lost in that. But this
Rich,
is what
hold on. I think someone just knocked at my door. Sorry.
Loser.
Oh.
Act like he's got friends. Cut it out. So, anyways, they're knocking the existence of the race of the giants, right? For the many reports of giant discoveries, familiar with human and that, blah, blah, blah. Reported the archaeologist Donald Ball, this is in 2020, collected articles about giant skeletons, which were purportedly found in burial mounds dating as far back as 1845 from that point. He determined that when the claims about giant skeletons were scrutinized, they did not reveal giant skeletons. One story in the Indianapolis Journal reported on August 29th, 1883, yet another date, 9-foot skeleton had been found. Dr. Adams investigated and concluded that the bones were not of a giant. Here we go. And the individual was not above 5 feet 8 inches in height. He determined that it was a giant fraud. Okay. So it wasn't above 5 foot 8 inches in height. Okay. That doesn't even sound right. It's not even close. 2014, an story reported the Smithsonian Institution had custody of many giant skeletons. Nope. That's not what the report I read. And destroyed thousands of giant skeletons in the early 1900s. Determined that origin of the story was a blah, 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 called World News Daily Report. I wouldn't believe me either. A spokesperson for the Smithsonian confirmed that the story was not true. So here we go again. We're going back and forth with the Smithsonian. Again, there was documented evidence of hey, what's up, Kevin? How you doing, buddy? Just more Giants talk. There were evidence and there were skeletons. There were pictures of them. There was documentation of these skeletons that went missing at the Smithsonian, supposedly buried by the Smithsonian for a ritual. That's their claim. You know what I mean? BWRB group chat. Oh, okay. That's different. Let me see how I get in there. All right.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
No, sir. Not really.
That was my neighbor.
I didn't know if they still came around, them guys. You know what I mean? All right. Oh, I see. Banter Richie B group chat. I don't even know where she put that. That stinks. That's a separate one. Hang on one second. Let's see. All right, here we go. Refers to 3 bone fragments, right? The giant of Castellano, discovered by George, that guy, in 1890. Again, another date. And the sediment used to cover a Bronze Age burial tumulus, and dating possibly back to Neolithic. The post determined that the fossil bones may belong to one of the largest humans known to have existed. However, in 2022, Catherine asserted that this discovery by Lapouche was most likely a cave bear and not a human. It's weird. All these things get debunked. Everything's big, but humans. Everything's giant in these days, but humans. Giant skeletons of animals were often mistaken for giant human bones. You know how those skulls will look just like bear skulls and stuff? Yeah. During previous centuries and during the 20th century. This was due to a lack of expertise in the human bone structure. I'm pretty sure you can look at your friend next to you and tell if he has a bear head on his shoulders or not. Just saying. Those who discovered the bones. Also, some discoveries were intentionally misrepresented for various reasons. In 1984, anthropologist Brooks examined the Reed collection, Native American skeletons unearthed in Nevada by John Reed in the early 1900s, which was said to contain an individual that was measured 9'6". However, Brooks found that no skeleton measured more than 5'11". Brooks concluded that since Reed estimated the heights of these skeletons by measuring their femurs against the thigh, overestimate likely occurred because he was unaware of the head of the femur. Okay, well, so 3 bone fragments. There you go. They're found, and here we go. We're having rebuttal. We're having conversation about how these things don't exist. These things aren't real. All that stuff. So that's the continuous situation, right? Well, I'm in that situation now, anyways. I have the same with Sasquatch, same with Bigfoot, same exact stuff. There's always these debunking. There's always a reason. There's always something else. Nothing has to do with any of that. It has to do with this. All that shit. It's the same story, different media outlet. That's it. It's it. It's not these little penny papers. It's now internet and YouTubes and all that stuff. It's all different now. But the same message is being given to us. Why is that? You know what I mean? Skeleton could be larger than it is, as they have reasons for all this stuff. It's kind of funny in a sense, right? So there you go. There you have it. Those are the articles I brought up tonight. A lot of the articles I brought up tonight for discussion were about the debate that goes on with Sasquatch, with Bigfoot, that has been going on with the giants for many years. There has been I think I read 1,500 sites found in North America, 1,500, which I'm going to bring some more of them to you eventually coming up on the coming shows about giants, purported burial sites of them. Ohio was one of them that had a major burial site. I think Jim Vieira was investigating that one of the ones he investigated. He investigated all of them, really, of these sites. You know what I mean? What man behind it?
All over the Great Lakes.
Yeah, all over the Great Lakes region, all that stuff. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. I get you now. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's completely nuts. You know, I don't know why we're doing this. If it's a part of history, it's stuck in the ground. You dig it up, you find it. It's ours. It's the way it is.
Right.
We read about it, we investigate it, we discover it. This is what I mean. Even after Sasquatch is held in a cage somewhere by some idiot scientist, it's going to be. You're still crazy. You're still going to be crazy, right? And that's not necessarily the way it should be. You know what I mean? So I have my troubles with it. You know what I mean? Hang on one second. Yeah. Wojo, what's your take on all that? I mean, you know, how do you feel about the Giants? You did a little research with the Jim Vieira and his brother and stuff like that. Do you have any kind of ideas of different types of places and things like that where they investigated or anything like that?
Well, I mean, I think one of their first investigations was actually in Russell. I think they live like way out in Western Mass. They found a site in there, and you know the stones, because these guys were Jim and his brother were masonry guys, and they were just so intrigued by all the stones and so on and so forth. And then they hear stories about, giants, and then they decide to investigate it. And they've been finding giant skulls all throughout New England. And then it just keeps expanding throughout the United States, all across the country. And the stones that they're being buried with, I mean, it's so intriguing that how like big, 5-ton stones are like on top of like little stones.
Yep.
They've been finding structures, stone structures in the Great Lakes, in the water themselves. They have pictures and stuff. You can look it up. Jim and his brother on YouTube. There was a they were on the History Channel, and discussing and actually they were excavating like that place in Western Mass, and I don't know. I just find it very fascinating that these structures are out there today, and they're still trying to unearth of what's going on. They're finding these giant skulls. I'm just like fascinated with everything that's going on, and the connection that we're discussing. The giants, the Lovelock Caves. Now we have Sasquatch sightings over the years. It's why are they here? How do they get here? So this is just me, not Richie, not anybody else in the field or whatever. And I just believe somewhat that when I read the giants, the Patur tribe, when they were mating these giants, maybe these are the Bigfoots that are coming around all these years, because they have like Indian ties, and the structures that you see is just dream catchers and so on and so forth, like things you just can't explain. But everything's always affiliated with the Indians. So I don't know. I'm just wild guess.
Right? No, I think it's, to do the research, I think it's, becomes a hypothesis. Eventually you get to that level where it's an educated guess, right? To be that big, they have to eat approximately every 3 to 4 days. They would wipe out a deer herd damn quick. Well, I mean, you're talking a different time. You're talking, the tie-in I'm having, Henry, is a prehistoric time, right? The foliage was bigger. The birds were bigger. Salamanders were bigger. The snakes were bigger. The creatures in the ocean were bigger, right? Whales were bigger. Sharks were bigger. Dinosaurs existed, right? And that's where I come into play, where I'm, maybe I'm not even reaching. I'm just having a discussion with you guys. I just want to have an interesting conversation.
Same here.
That if a giant why can't humans be bigger? Again, why were we the little ones with a spear? You know what I mean? Why is that? Doesn't make any sense to me. Because the food resources are bigger, right? Like you're saying, a herd of deer back then, who knows how big they could have been? They could have been the size of moose, right? So a herd of deer, all moose size, 1,200 pounds or whatever, right? It's a lot of meat to eat. You know what I mean? So, that's the type of thinking that we're trying to pull out of you and try to tie it into the Sasquatch world, and to try to tie it into where we all eventually downsized. The sharks downsized, the whales downsized, the snakes downsized, all of it, all downsized at some point for some reason. I imagine it was maybe the Ice Age and having to start over, food wise, and having less food resources or whatever, which they tie in Sasquatch to that as well, with the continents divide and all that stuff. Anyways, so many mind-blowing thoughts and theories here. That's why I love having this show. That's why I love having my guests. This is why I love talking about this stuff. It can go on, and you get some great theories and great conversation and great topic out of it. And you could tie it to other aspects of life. Sasquatch, for instance, right? That's where I go to. When I start hearing the Native Americans, when I start hearing these different things that sound like Native American lifestyles, right? And they're all tied in together constantly. To me, there's a reason for that. It's consistency, it's percentages, right? So you try to do that, and in a sense, you're debunking, in a sense, right? So that's what you try to do. Literally sitting at the prints I'm talking about. Awesome. So I'm having trouble because I have a whole new system sketch that I don't have my BRWB fan chat accessible to me. So we're gonna, when I shut down the show, I want you to kind of stay close, because we'll have a conversation. You know what I mean? Yeah, right at the end of the show, we're gonna talk. So we'll put something together, okay, bro? I'm here for you. I got you. We'll once we wrap this up, But in the meantime, as we do get it close to wrapping up, Wojo and I and his brother did an investigation. I talked about this at the beginning of the show, right? It's amazing how time flies when you do this show. It's crazy, right? Because I can sit here for like 3 or 4 hours, and I actually have 3 hours is about my record, right? We did an investigation. So anybody have any questions or any thoughts and theories on the Giants? If you do, put them in the comments now so we can discuss them. And then once we do that, however long that takes, I'm never in a rush. Once we do that, me and Wojo did a little bit of an investigation with his brother, and we got some interesting sounds I want you guys to hear. Let's see. And they weren't just limited to deer and moose. No, they eat fish, berries, nuts. Oh, yeah, everything. And I believe back in those days that the carnivorous type was more than anything, really. I mean, you needed omnivores and, they all kind of went to, you ate anything is my point. You know what I mean? I don't think any of that existed. I think it was
beat me to it, Kev. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, I think they ate everything and anything they get their freaking hands on. Humans included, man, right?
Skunk cabbage.
Skunk cabbage is huge. And that's one of the things I talk about on my property, that there's a very low spot right at the base, right near my property flag, actually. And it's about, I don't know, I would say could be 50 feet long, maybe less, and about 15 feet wide. And it's all wetland. And skunk cabbage, the patches of it come up every year, and they get huge, man. And every year they get bigger and bigger, like we're actually headed back to the prehistoric days. But skunk cabbage, if you read about it, they pop once a year. They stay pretty much throughout the year. Then, animals either eat them or they die off, whatever the case might be. That's the supposed natural process. Well, in my house, there's a certain time of the year, which is generally end of July-ish. They all go missing. They're not nibbled. They're plucked. And like broken. You can see where they're broken. You don't see like deer teeth or fish or cat teeth or rodent teeth or any of that stuff in them. They're just plucked, they're gone, and then they regrow for the end of the season, like October-ish, again, something like that, probably early November at the latest, depending on the temperatures, right? So that's what I had been dealing with for years. I started watching the pattern of the skunk cabbage that you brought up, which is one of the reasons why I think they call them the skunk ape down in Florida. I think it's an abundance down there in the swamplands that they secrete it out their pores, and they give off that skunk smell, right? It's kind of like if you're an alcoholic and you drink a bunch of Jack Daniels, you get up the next morning, it sweats out your pores. Same thing. You smell like booze, right? Yep. That's the way I feel. I'm just saying. Your diet is what's in front of you, right? We're all on the seafood diet. Seafood and eat it. So I think a lot of these creatures and giants and animals and things like that are on a seafood diet. You're big, you see food, you eat it. God sent Joshua with 10 spies. They all returned home. They said they were like grasshoppers. I'm not biblical. Is that a biblical thing?
Yeah.
Why were they like grasshoppers? Anything? Did I miss something?
You talking to me or you talking to him?
Talking to you.
Oh.
Do you see him? Do you see him in front of me?
Well, he just posted that up there. I thought he was going to follow up on it so that they have him explain it to you.
I love it. Here goes Kevin. Put a trail cam on it. Well, Kevin, I am gonna teach you one thing, and I'm not really into teaching or talking like I know things, but I know this. I've had trail cameras out in my property. Any creature that can see at night can see that thing like a lighthouse on the edge of the ocean. There is no chance. And there's been many years of trail cams and people getting shit footage and this and that and the other thing. I do have one thing on a trail cam I would love to share with you guys one day, but some people might call it a reach. I do not. So I'll have to think about that. You know what I mean? Am I going camping at the farm overnight when I go? I did have a place that I was going to because my producer has a up that way, a cottage about a half hour away, but she moved to the West Coast. Her mom's up there, so I don't really know what's happening. I'm probably going to end up camping overnight because we're going out with some pretty badass people to do some Sasquatching after hours, some legends of the area that if it goes down and it happens, Henry, I'm going to be the happiest squatcher ever. That's all I got to say about that, man. All right. Yeah, we're going to make it happen. No, you and I are going to talk after the show. We're going to make a plan sketch. I got you. 11B, bro. We'll make a plan. We'll talk about it, man. That's what we're here for. I just can't get into the chat right now. And you know what? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's not something that you just willy-nilly jump into. Maybe we actually have a real discussion here about what's going on and what you have before we just blow it up all over the internet with my 1 billion fans. Yeah, that's billion with a B. Don't laugh at me, Henry. So that's anyways, I think it's a great topic. I think you guys have great questions. I think you guys have great thoughts and theories, and I love it. So when we do go to the Charming Fair Farm, I ain't coming home that day. I know that, so I better figure something out. Maybe I'll put the family up in a hotel and bring some camping gear and just hang out at the site. You know what I mean? Because I'd love to sit around a fire with the Vogels and McCullough and Trainer and Crystal, and maybe even Alex Petikoff will hang out because I know he's going one night. I hope it's Saturday. Crystal's good friend. Crystal, she's probably not here anymore. She's a busy girl, but maybe she can get Alex to stay on Saturday night. We all go out Sasquatching. You know what I mean? So that'll be kind of cool.
I'll be in my truck. I don't care.
Yeah, it don't matter to me either, man. Where's my comments? Oh, there they are. The Giants were so big they walked around like grasshoppers unnoticed. Oh, okay. So God again sent Joshua with 10 spies on the Giants. They all returned home, and they said they were like grasshoppers. They were everywhere. Interesting. Very interesting. I think that biblical tie is crazy interesting. You know what I mean? So anyways, if you left the show, you're going to miss it. So I'm going to bring up this footage. I have the timestamps in my head. What I want you to listen for is across the water. Okay. Wojo, myself, and his brother were doing an investigation on my property, or the land that abuts my property. And we heard some commotion across the water. Now, mind you, after the commotion ended, we could actually hear footfall in the parabolic microphone, little okay? But this is what we heard up until that point. So if you got headphones, use them. I'm going to go right up to that time so we don't have to deal with all my nonsense. I repeat myself a lot in this, so don't mind me. And I breathe heavy because we walked a lot. Oh, there's 2 clicks right there. You hear them? Listen for the 2 clicks. They're important later. Did you hear it? There's one right there.
I don't know if anybody else can hear that tapping out there.
Hear it? I'm trying to get their attention to what I'm hearing. Yep.
Sounds like those recordings.
This is where I repeat myself because somebody with a parabolic microphone can't hear me.
Sounds like those recordings.
We have recordings of this from
Sounds
recorders
like
that were left
Western Mass.
overnight of rock clacking overnight. And now here we are live around 10, 11 in the morning.
Hold up your microphone.
And we're listening
Sounds like
to it.
sounds like Western Mass.
I didn't have my microphone on at the time, guys.
Just your
Yeah.
headset.
Sounds like Western Mass.
It gets a little hot
Sounds
up
like
there.
Western Mass. Tick, 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 tick.
Pretty deep because it was overflowing. Oh, there's another one.
Ready?
Keep listening. Another one. There's more.
It sounds just like Western Mass, dude. It sounds like rock
Excuse me.
clacking, like he's doing something.
You're hearing the echo, not just.
Look where we are. It's the neighborhood. See the neighborhood? Ooh, well, that's closer.
What's closer?
Much closer.
That's loud, dude. Right here. I gotta get my binoculars.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's going off.
Something's banging out there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no rhythm. It's intelligent. There's no rhythm to it. It's specifically doing something.
That's it. Yep. And it goes quiet. And then we keep listening and it walks off. Everybody hear that good?
Is that recording? Check 1, 2, check.
Yeah, that's it. Excuse me.
This records every 12 seconds. It stopped completely.
So yeah, so anyway, so if you could hear that throughout that whole recording, there's actual rock clacking, like Henry pointed out. And it's not like I'm a bird and I'm breaking a clam off a rock where I'm it's not like that. It was specifically like when I said that it was intelligent, there was nothing rhythmic to it. It wasn't like this is how we've been taught to break this. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. And on top of that, like I said, you could only take my word for this, but you could hear Wojo was listening in and he could hear sounds. And he says, he pointed over to me, like asking me what I heard. And I put that without telling me. And I put the headphones on and I could hear the like something's trudging through the leaves in a sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, and I understand that. Not too many great horned owls out there, but this was, we have recordings of actual sounds too that match it. So it's just a history of it, and to have it live in front of us was different than on a recorder. What was that, Wojo?
No, I was about to say, I know the great horned owls can clack it. This was much louder. You can hear the echo.
Yeah, that's key. That's key.
Yeah, the echo is like so loud. So as Richie started recording, okay, once we started hearing the rock clacking, I was above him. He was already like below me. I'm with my brother, who was a skeptic, and that was his first time out, and we could hear it. but we weren't sure what it was. And so now we're just going real slow towards Richie, and then Richie's giving us like the wave, like, hey,
Yeah.
So now I had the parabol out, and I'll tell you, it was loud and clear as day. But when you heard towards the end, it got louder. So, and then that's when I said, all right, stopped. So then as I'm listening in, because now the picture's out, so I'm going to tell you after the fact. So I'm listening, I can hear heavy movement, just slow, like, and I'm like, now it's walking closer towards us. So that's why I didn't say nothing. I said, just put these on. Tell me what you hear. So Richie put it on, and he's doing this. He's walking. I go, yes. And then it stopped. And we must have sat there another like 15, 20 minutes, heard nothing. And, that was it. I mean, he probably just laid down and watched us the whole time.
Exactly. And Cy was there. This is the gentleman speaking now. He was
That's
there as well. He rescues birds. And it's a great point you bring up, Sketch. And that's what I'm talking about with my audience. My audience is so intelligent, man. You guys have so much to offer the show when we're talking, right? These angles you take are things that, like, I'm not sitting there looking out there going, hey, it's a great horned owl, because I don't know that. You know what I mean? And what you just said just taught me that. And that's the God's honest truth. No ego, no nothing. I'm as real gets. I'm not here to bullshit nobody. If I don't find nothing, I'm not going to find anything. I've had a lot of these rock clackings on recordings. I've heard them before we had them on recordings. The rock clacking is a thing, so to speak. And no, Henry, I didn't find anything on my damn binoculars. No, I tried my hardest, man, and it was a great experience. We know what that sound is. We've heard that sound before, mixed with the validation of Wojo going, hey, what do you hear? Rather than going, hey, I hear this, don't you? It's not. That's how we kind of do it. You know what I mean? So I got to say, and then I looked at him, and I went like this, and he's like, yep. Like, you could hear the bipedal motions. So when you tie those in together to a personal experience, listen, I'm not making $1 million off of this story, folks. It's just I'm sharing what I experienced. Do you know what I mean? No. You gave a good, viable option, Sketch.
No, absolutely, Sketch.
Yep, absolutely. No, we appreciate that. That's what this show is about. We're not here to say, no, you heard rock clacking. You didn't hear a bird. No, I want to know what you think. That's why I present it. And then to have a guy like Cy who comes in there, he actually rescues birds. And I'm like, kind of was looking for him for an answer. And
you've seen the pictures of him with the bird.
Yeah.
Excuse me, with the hawks and stuff like that. But
yeah, 100%. So we love that, man. What's up,
Hi,
Paranormal boys? Listen, man, you want some good paranormal podcasting going on? Right there. That's my boy Dale and Michael John, two legends, the Paranormal voice. They're all the way up in Canada. Don't hold it against them. We like some Canadians.
Going back to like Sketch, it's like people would say like that could be like, I don't know, a woodpecker or things like that. No, different sounds. But you know what? I would value somebody's opinion, even if right or wrong. This is what me and Rich do. We have these discussions. This is what it's all about. Yeah. But the echo, okay, I mean, you could tell the echo towards the end, like it got louder. I mean, that was just hands down like rock clacking. And what Richie's saying about Western Mass is that we did an expedition going up to Western Mass, and we found huts and everything. So we had the Burke set up recorders. And when they set up the 3 recorders, all you hear is tons of rock clacking. It was just unbelievable.
Robert Bertram makes really cool rocks. Look like Bigfoot. And you can use them for actual clackers.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty cool, right?
Richie, why don't you just play a quick clip one more time?
Yeah, I'll play again. Yeah, I'll hang out.
Because Dale's on here. And Dale, if you're still on here, we'd like to play this for you.
Hang on, I'm going to play it for you as if Sarah's going to play it, okay? As I hold my microphone. Because anything past 7:30, it gets weird around here. Hope you don't mind, guys.
Cy says, I was there when they heard the rock clack, and it was definitely made by stones from what I heard and echoed throughout the forest we were in. You are correct. Let's see. I rescued a cardinal baby yesterday. Lost it. Oh, dude, I'm sorry, bro. Good try, though. Good try. All right, Dale's still here. I am sorry to hear that. Yep, me too. And Dale is still here, so I am going to replay this clip of Wojo, myself, and Cy during a Sasquatch investigation. I will jump over a little bit because there is some, me breathing from walking and being 25 pounds heavier than.
Oh, you sounded like a fat, like Darth Vader.
Yeah. Look at that.
There you go. There you go.
Look at that, huh? Firming up, boy. You better look out, son. See? Woo-hoo! Losing that weight. Anyways, all right. Where were you guys still here? Okay. I thought we were having a private meeting, Wojo.
All right, let's go. Let's play it.
Shut up. Go answer your door. Somebody's knocking.
Yeah.
Here it is.
I am your father's cousin's uncle's roommate.
Oh, I forgot I played that.
Oh, that's right. Hold on, stop, Rich. Let's just stop right there. That's right.
I forgot I played that.
I told you. Yes, I told you I played that. That's right. You played that, and then that's when action was coming around.
That's huge, dude.
That is huge. Thank God. That's right. That's right.
Leave that out.
You meathead. I can't believe that.
Somebody's knocking. I gotta go answer the door.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. So listen, I played a Sasquatch. Oh God. Sasquatch sound. A call, ready? Got the dog.
Got the dog. Yep.
That's great.
I can't believe this.
It's coming. Here it comes. There we go. His first two. One.
I don't know if anybody else can hear that tapping out there.
Two more.
Because you can hear the kids in the background.
Well, my kids. Brooks, you gotta be quiet, bud. He's yelling at his Switch game. Yeah, listen for that echo.
Sounds like those recordings.
Sounds like those recordings.
Sounds like those recordings. Sounds like Western Mass.
Sorry about that.
Hold up your microphone. Sounds like Western Mass.
I just want to play it to you.
Stay there. Sounds like Western Mass. Sounds like Western Mass. Tick, 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 tick.
Brooks. Shh.
Are you ready?
Out loud.
Tap, 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 tap.
Another big one.
It sounds just like Western Mass, dude. It sounds like rock clacking, like he's doing something.
You're hearing the echo, not just.
It was an overcast morning, Henry.
It's the neighborhood. See the neighborhood. Oh, that's
Big one.
closer.
So I was pointing out the neighborhood was far off.
That's loud, dude. Right there. I gotta get my binoculars.
Yeah, you don't want to listen to that part.
It sounds like you are zipping yourself.
Ups. Oh man. Sounds like I'm trying to fight my way out of a one-piece jumpsuit.
That's why I was moving away.
Don't blame him.
Banging out there.
Yeah.
We have recordings from Western
Yeah,
Mass.
there's no rhythm. It's intelligent. There's no rhythm to it. It's specifically doing something. I just turned it on.
That's it.
Is that recording? Check 1, 2, check.
Yes, we actually investigated it. So yeah, so when I say Western Mass, we have recordings from overnight recordings with our team, the Burks, Patty and Wally Burke up in Western Mass, and they leave them out there basically in bags, and you hear that throughout the night. And we don't know if it's a form of communication or some of the thoughts and theories we had that, maybe they're like the trees that are bent. I don't know what they're doing with that. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how they're doing these things, but it means something to somebody for something. Maybe he is getting something to eat. Maybe it just sounds like rock clacking. It could be communicating, hey, those humans are here. You know what I mean? And it means something. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, I would say it's a little further away than that. Si, you're not far off, but we went out on that acreage, and that is not a small area, man. There is a big area. So what happened was, and it makes sense because, my property has a lot of like dwelling like places and places for it to go and hide and all that stuff, right? Well, we had massive rains in the area. The river, this river, was flooded probably the same width of the river on both sides. So now basically you had 3 rivers So whatever it was could have been stuck over there, and it doesn't usually go over there. If it goes over there to eat, it was going to live there for a little while until some of the land dried up, or the flow slowed down so they get back across, or night fell to where they could go up over the bridge and cross. It just seemed prime for it to be kind of in that area. Not only that, when the water was frozen, probably a month prior to this or so.
Yeah.
It was like 0 degrees, and we were out there, and we have it again. That's on my YouTube page. Like and subscribe. You can go on there and listen, and you will hear it right off my GoPro. I'm holding my GoPro so you can hear it, and you just hear these two loud wood on wood, bang, bang, across the river. So it's a known place with oddity type activities going on, which is generally related to Bigfoot investigations. So, and of course, this area is pretty hot. You know what I mean? Mary, you have a good night too, hon. I love you.
Bye, Mary.
So the clack in the form of Morse code. Yeah, it could be. You know what I mean? I think they're saying, hey, there's that idiot. He's back with friends this time. Let's all hide and make him look stupid. You know what I mean? So, that was the attempt. But, the key to that is, which I didn't play the first time like a moron. I did play that howl. The Ohio howl.
The Ohio. Well, he beat
Yeah.
it.
So.
And also, too, is that when you did that, the rock clock had started like 5-6 minutes later. So, which was fascinating. But to me, 5 minutes, that's a short time for response.
Yeah.
And when you hear the rock clacking that, you could barely hear at the very beginning, then you could tell it was rock clack. Then it'll stop for like a minute, picks up again. Now you can see it was getting louder. So we were, that's what we kept saying. It was getting louder and louder.
Yeah.
And
yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So exactly, Kev. And so, yeah, I mean, it could be like a form of Morse code or whatever, because he's probably going, what's going on? And then after it just like a dead stop, but I kept I just kept playing, and I could hear it. I would say after the last rock clack, maybe like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And then I started hearing footprints because I could hear sticks breaking, like just small movements, not like squish, squish. It's squish. Snit, he was just walking slow, and it kept going on. And like after the footage, I gave Rich my headsets as I'm playing the Paraball, put it over his head, and all I said was, "Tell me what you hear." And then you were like, you looked at me, he goes, "He's moving." I go, "Yes, exactly."
Yep. So all that tied in together, brings us to our experience that we had, and so there's a mixture of evidence, there's a mixture of validation. And there's a mixture of personal experience, amongst 3 people. You know what I mean? Right. So it's not just one person, and it's not like, hey, we heard rock clacking across the way, let's sell our story. Right? I mean, think about it. It's something that we're presenting to you that historically has been part of investigations.
And tree knocks too, like you said.
Yeah.
And I still have that, I still have that tree knock.
Yeah.
I still record it on my Paraball because I don't have the SDS card or whatever you call them. I don't have that to revert it to my phone, but it's still on my Paraball that you can still hear.
Yep.
And
yeah.
Even that was loud.
Yep.
So
absolutely. And I got some tree knocks too. Like I said, I downloaded to this laptop from that investigation with Phil, and I'm going to present them as Sasquatch evidence. So anyway,
real quick, Rich. I'm sorry,
yep.
I know. So a few weeks ago, me and Rich finally decided to go on the other side of that river to see what's going on.
Correct.
So we did an investigation out there, and it's like old dry beds because you can see how high the water is.
Yep.
During that ice time, the water overflowed that area. Okay. And so now it's dry, and we took a walk on it, and we found some strange structures out there. Not as much as behind your house, but there's something going on out there. So it's just a beautiful area, and it's just fascinating.
I think it's a passageway. That's what I think. I think where I am, there's more of a dwelling type setting or an ambush hut or a feeding ground of some sort. And I think that over there is kind of the passageway. That's all. I think there's a lot of like nomadic behavior there. You know what I mean? As opposed to migrational, where you settle in for a little bit, right? So that's what I think. Anyways, I'm glad we got to share that with everybody. And I love my very interactive audience. I'm very happy about it. I'm going to jump off so I can touch base real quick with Sketch and see what we can get going on that, because I can't get to my chat right now.
Thanks for Sketch, Keepy, Chris Mack, all you guys for asking these questions. I mean, it's
man.
Cool.
Oh, it's kick ass. So, and remember, we started the show out with the Giants. So we're just trying to we're trying to do different things. All right. We're trying to different angles. We're trying different theories, different conversations. You know what I mean? And then try to check to see if there is that tie-in, that tie-in with Sasquatch, or and for the people that weren't here prior, I'll run back to these fossilized footprints that we kind of started the show with, right? So here you see again, here's these footprints. They're in stone. These are factual. These are fossils, is what they are. These are fossils. Okay. And these are said to be of giants from the prehistoric days. So I ask you, what does it look like to you? If I presented you a Sasquatch print right now, you would probably be looking at the same type of thing. So that's all I'm saying, is remain open-minded. If everything was big back in the day, why couldn't we be big back in the day? And what happened in between? Is that where Sasquatch falls? Is that where Sasquatch lies? Somewhere in between when we were giants and now? Is that what that is? It's just a different part of the conversation. That's all it is. So, and to be able to present the evidence or some evidence to try to tie it in or attempt to, or to get educated or to do research, which is not factual. It's research. It's in order to find facts. That's what we're trying to do, is find facts, right? So, and then maybe someday we'll make it factual. Who knows, right? If not, until then, it's a great conversation. So that's how the conversation started tonight. For those people that don't have Banter with Richie B alarm clock set, just saying.
Good point, Kev. Yeah.
Canada and Colorado. I guess they don't sell those Banter with Richie B alarm clocks. Whatever. Stop and think about how many times you heard these noises when you were a kid, but you didn't know what they were. Shit. I heard some shit when I was a kid. We won't even get into. Yeah, okay. There's one of the guilty ones now. There's the other one. I love you. I love you when you're late. I love you when you're on time. I appreciate you guys always giving love and support. I really do. We've been going through a lot of changes, man. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. And Mike and who? I'm sorry, I keep forgetting her name.
Mike and Lisa.
Mike and Lisa. Some reason I want to say Patty.
Ding and dong.
I'm not going to call you ding and dong, but Mike and Lisa, thank you so much for your support. We have a lot of changes going on. There's an area right next to me right now that we're clearing out where my studio will be. Things will be a lot more consistent, a lot more soundproof. And my producer has moved to the West Coast, so we're adjusting to her schedule and her technology. I love everybody for being here. I thank everybody for being here. Make sure you stay up to date on June 22nd and 23rd. It is all good changes, brother. It's all good changes. Watch for my lives out in the woods on a regular basis. We will be streaming to all the platforms from StreamYard in the woods. We'll be doing that. We're going to be doing some stop-ins come this week. I wanted to do them last week, but as you can hear, my Dayquil is wearing off, and I'm showing my true sick colors. So I apologize. We will be in next Saturday with a Crystal Panic who just stopped in earlier to say hi. BFR reporter, Bigfoot investigator, researcher. Her and I know a lot of the same people, which is quite cool for me. Claude says thumbs up, so that's always good. CWJ, what's up? I got you now. I got you now, CWJ. It's Banter. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you all for offering your intelligence, your respectful conversation. So tune in next Saturday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time for the Banter Richie B podcast. Who knows? Maybe I'll have Wojo on again. Maybe we should do a vote and see if we make Wojo like a permanent host or something. What do you think? Yeah, you got caught. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe
But also watch Richie too. If you subscribe, you also there are times going to be boots on and going on live. So watch Richie when he's on live.
Yeah, like you heard Kevin say, he heard that live. He just didn't know what it was at the time, and now he knows. He got to watch it, man.
Yep.
So that's pretty kick-ass stuff. Watch us live. We're gonna be happening, man. Make sure you get over to TikTok and Instagram and check out my stuff, Banter with Richie B. Make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube. Tell your friends, your cousins, your uncles, roommates, like and subscribe. Also on Facebook, I have Banter Richie B. You can follow me, and all the followers have been climbing. All been climbing, man. Yes, keep Wojo. I'm always going to keep him. I just, is a permanent co-host or what? You know what I mean? So that's all. And say hello to my boy down in South Carolina, CWJ. Much love to you. Right? That's my brother right there. Henry, thank you so much for chiming in, bro.
Henry, awesome, dude. Awesome.
Hold down Littleton for us, man. I want to get back up there and see that place. I love that place.
If you get any photos or anything like that, send them to the BanterRichieB.com.
Yes, absolutely. If you guys find anything, you need investigation done, anything at all, call us. You got any kind of evidence you think that might be evidence. There's no ridicule here. There's only respect. Send it to us. We'll discuss it and see what we can get to the bottom of it and figure it out with you, okay? And for you, all right? So make sure you tune in next week. Don't be late. Get a Banter with Richie B alarm clock set. They sell them in stores. I'm going to put that in the shop, a Banter with Richie B alarm clock, and it only has 6 p.m. on it.
Set your alarm on rock clacking. Click. Time to get up.
So tune in next week. Oh, shit. Whoa, that was crazy. Something just happened. I hit a button and things went nuts. Tune in next week at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I thought I lost everybody. I'm going to get out of here before I break something else. I mean, something at all. I didn't break anything. What are you talking about?